What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Lean and Mean Academy, where we talk about one truck, big profits, big issues in the Google world going down. A lot of contractors been dealing with some crazy stuff. Today, we're going to cover, my buddy Chris Lonergan from Footbridge Media and myself, we're going to cover why is my Google My Business not showing up. Before we jump into this, if you're looking to have a pro website built, just like mine, just like my brothers, just like a lot of the killers in the inner circle making multiple six figures a year. Now, it takes some time to get there. It's a lot of work to get there. But if you want a partner on the website who's going to optimize you to even have the capability of hitting that level of Google ranking, look no further than Footbridge Media. They build my site half of the past 5 years. I'll put their link in the description and in the comments. You can check it out. But I've got Chris Lonergan from Footbridge Media here right now to talk about why my Google My Business isn't showing up. What's up, brother? How are you?
We're doing good. How are you, Aaron?
Good, man. So look, I've got guys in my comments. I've got guys, we released that video, I don't know, a week ago or something. Guys are talking about reviews being taken away. I mean, like personal stories. I didn't know these types of, I knew what was going on. I just didn't know like guys would chime in like that with their personal situation. So another one that I have and I get a lot of is, why is my Google My Business like not showing up? I know we had like a little list that we kind of hashed out of the three main factors. Let's run through them. Chris, what is like the first reason that GMB might not be showing up for these guys?
Rule number one is time on. If you've got a brand new listing, just like if you've got a brand new website, it takes time for Google to catch up and to understand who you are as a business. There's that honeymoon phase maybe where you might pop up real quick, but at the end of the day, you need to give Google time to understand you, your business, your operations, because they've got to figure out where you fit as a puzzle piece with all the other information they've got about your business and competitors.
Very nice. So, I know a lot of SEO guys that call that the Google dance. They start doing the Google dance, right? Where they'll stop popping you up, or they'll start, they'll drop you down for a little bit and then area, right? And what I've learned is if I keep doing what you tell me, what you guys have told me to do, the project pages, and I'm a blog writer, and I, keep doing the steps with GMB, that like if I drop, usually that means a big leap's coming for that. And correct me if I'm wrong, that drop might be like Google kind of reanalyzing the landscape of that results page.
Absolutely. There's these little, everyone hears about the big algorithm updates that they name. There are these constant little updates that roll out almost on a continual basis. So yeah, you see that fluctuation. That's Google behind the scenes testing things out, trying to figure out what is working, what's not working. You might be getting A/B tested. So you might be seeing a search query unlike what other people are seeing. And how are you interacting with that? Yeah, it's all Google trying to figure out that recipe of, like we always talk about, they want you to come back. They want you to come back and use Google again. They want to make sure you're hooked. So they want to make sure you're getting the exact fine-tuned mix that they think is working best.
Absolutely. So the first one is basically just like time. I know a buddy of mine just had a GMB built down in Baton Rouge site from you guys. And, the first like 3 weeks or so, like you couldn't even find it in the Google My Business search results, in the Maps search results, right? And after that, it popped up, and it's popped up again, and now it's ranking like 4th over in Baton Rouge. So about to get in the pack, dude. It's pretty exciting. So, but he's following what you say to a T. So the number one is time on. What is our number two for why your Google My Business is not showing up?
So Google is all interconnected. Google understands a lot of context. When you talk about having a GPB or Google My Business or a Google Business Profile, Google also understands you might have a website or other social accounts. So your website actually has a lot to do with the success of your Google listing. You'll even see sometimes if you do a search for a service, in those Google listings, it'll pop up and say, hey, their website mentions the service you just looked for. So Google understands, and they want as much collaboration as possible to make sure that they're putting out the right information. So your website has to have some very specific code on it, some information that assures Google, and in turn Google My Business or Google Business Profile, you are who you say you are, that information matches, that the name, the business address, the phone number, that all jives together. It's kind of a feedback loop. Like all those things, once you get all the right pieces, everything starts to rise up a little bit more. So yeah, you've got some influence from those outside sources and including your own website.
Oh, wow. So you're saying that if a guy's website becomes, I've always kind of noticed it to be kind of linear, where a guy, if his website starts ranking better, his Google My Business starts ranking better, or it starts ranking better in other areas, like the radius gets wider. And usually you'll start noticing, at least for me, is that the guy who's ranking number one usually has a pretty wide radius for his GMB in that area. Like Google, to me, seems to like A B those two, and there seems to be some sort of power flowing from the site and its authority in the area that Google has deemed, right, to that Google My Business profile to power it up a little more. I'm not going to say that if you're ranking number one in your city, that means you're going to rank number one for 40-mile radius. That's not the case, because proximity is huge as well. But there is a coding situation, and what is called a schema, how the site is built, matters in order to push that authority to the GMB to help it rank better. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those things, it all loops back into itself. And ultimately, once all those things are good, are go indicators, Google understands that and they figure out, yeah, this is legit. These people are legit. This listing is legit. And this market makes sense. This area makes sense for this query to pop up and for this company to show up.
So stating this, and it also depends on, right, your competition. Like he has in Baton Rouge right now, his site is just now, he launched in July and he's ranking like 50th, right? And a lot of guys would be like, oh, that's terrible. But to me, I already know the timeline that you guys talk about all the time. It's like 6 months to anything. And that's if you're doing what you're being told to do, right? Like that you're contributing, like with your photos that you're taking on site, and you're doing your project pages and you're doing that stuff. And so I see that number and I'm like, oh, we're right on time. Like we're right
On
on
schedule. Yep.
where I expect us to be here in about 3 to 4 more months, especially coming next spring. So number two, the site authority does power up the Google My Business. And so if you got a shitty site, make a change, grab a Footbridge site, give them a call over there, get yours done. What is our number three, Chris, as far as why your Google My Business is not showing up?
Google reviews are such a huge thing. I always say that the one thing you can control the absolute most is the number of Google reviews you've got. Generally speaking, reviews and proximity tend to be the biggest heavy hitters when it comes to things that makes sense when what influences a customer and Google when they're doing those queries. So yeah, if someone's got 5 reviews and your competitor's got 10 reviews, it makes sense that number 10 guy is going to show up over the number 5 person. So work hard to just get the reviews. You already do good work. Just ask somebody, or in our instance, you've got our review management system, having some sort of methodology so that you can have a consistent stream of reviews to grow your Google My Business.
So I know what guys are going to say right now. They're like, I'm trying to get reviews, but Google is not letting them show up. And look, that's true. Google is like I said in my last email, they're like drunk on Bourbon Street right now. It's like, go home, Google, you're drunk. Like that meme is what they are when it comes to reviews. But tell me, do you agree with this? This is what I think. If Google makes something hard, it means they're wanting to use it as a metric.
I would agree, absolutely. If something is a difficult process, it's because you've got to jump through those hoops because there's a benefit to it.
Right.
And Google reviews are no exception there. You've got to just overcome it. And it sucks because there are a lot of times you put in a lot of the effort, a lot of the legwork, and stuff gets flagged inappropriately or appropriately, whatever the situation is. But yeah, you just got to overcome it and push through. It's your business. It's not a kick back and relax kind of thing. You've got to make the effort to build a business. And if you do one thing, I'll say two things. Two things: take pictures of your work and work on those Google reviews. That's the way that you can build up your GMB. There are no hidden Google listings that have 1,000+ reviews. You know what I mean? No. Those guys are at the bottom of the list. Those are the ones at the top of the list.
That's a great way of putting it to wrap up this video. There are no hidden Google listings that have 1,000 reviews. Everybody who's come through my DMs and they're like, I'm like not getting any business, and I'm like, yeah, I'm teetering the line on quitting, and I like look. They send me their GMB because I immediately asked for the site and the GMB, and I'm like, bro, you have no reviews, like none. Like you have not given this the I've given it my all thing. And it's very funny to me when guys come with that, because it's like, is this what your all looks like? Because I would never hire you. Like, if this is what that looks like to you. And B, I guess you really don't want that much of a change. Like, I know the complaints are this is that Google is taking away the reviews, or they're not letting them show up, or they're showing up, 3 months later or something. And it's like, cool, man. Like, everybody's dealing with it. Like, saddle up, push harder. Like, push harder, follow up harder, get people to leave more reviews, do it harder, because everybody's dealing with it. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. You have to just keep going. Okay, what are you gonna do? You gonna quit? Like, I
Those are your
guess,
options.
is that
That's
the
your options right
option?
there. Yep.
I don't know. I guess I'm just lucky, Chris. I'm lucky with not, I was not blessed with that option.
That's
That
right.
was a very good blessing for me. I was trapped in a situation where I had to do it. It didn't matter. Like, it never even crossed my mind to quit. It was just like, no, today is another day. That sucks. I'm gonna keep hammering it, because at the end of the day, man, like, you can make this work. You can learn how to write a good blog if you really want to, and offer value to the public at a national level. You can, because I have. And bro, I barely passed high school. Like, and didn't go to college. Lord have mercy, just too ornery for it. And so, if I can, I just want to pass on to you guys as we wrap this video up. You can make it through this time, but you need to have a team in place to help you, to kind of tell you what the standard is. I always tell guys, Footbridge Media is so cheap. I've told this to Footbridge Media, and they like, we know. I've told them this. I'm like, you guys are $199 a month. The funny part is that people think that's expensive. And I'm like, you've never had an employee in your life. That's like right at $6 a day, not an hour. You can't pay employees $6 an hour to do what Footbridge is doing. It's $6 like a day, you see. And so, find like a Thailandian sweatshop or something. Maybe you can get away with that, somewhere in a third world country. But nowhere in the US could you pay that a day and to get the results that we have gotten. Chris, thank you for coming on the line. Guys, if you're looking to get your website started, I love the value that Chris brings to these, but there's a whole team that you guys haven't met. Sarah, Aaron, Shane, Tony, a lot of these folks that work behind the scenes that you'll encounter if you get started with Footbridge Media. Go ahead and get your website started now. I know, 6 months down the line, you're not going to regret it. A year, 2 years down the line, I know, dude, I'm 5 years deep, and I'm getting, apartment complexes. I'm getting massive churches. Ben and I are going to go clean a church tomorrow. It's a $10,000 job. And I think it's like a 15,000 square foot church, something crazy. It's huge. It's all stucco, but that was a free lead from Google My Business from my Footbridge Media site. So I'll see you guys in the next video.